My name's Peter. My friends...
Hey, I'm Willow. Willow Branch.
Hey, nice to meet you. The name's Max. Maxwell Smalls.
Allie Whoop.
Ready for it?
Whoop's here.
Do you like...
No reason to stand around.
My name's Peter. My friend...
Allie Whoop.
Ready for adventure.
Whoop's here. Ready to mix it up? Yep, that's my name.
Do you like role-playing games?
Trust me, I've heard it all before.
My name's Peter. My friends call me Pete.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Hey, I'm Willow. Willow Branch.
Ready for adventure.
Yep, that's my name.
Do you like role-playing games?
You can't run from me, you foul beast! You think you outsmarted me? The mighty Muldoon? I don't think so, Yoked Girth!
Stay tuned for what happens next on Yoked Girth. Now a word from our sponsor.
Kids, are you ready for a new wild and wacky Punch-O fruit flavor? Introducing Apricot. It's a punch to the gut. So stop by, fill up, and make sure you get your Billy Hog hot dog before you jet away.
Good morning, Brook Hollow. Today is October 20, 1990. This is your news. We have a special breaking report. The police department has released information that more local teenagers have gone missing. They were last seen earlier this week, and the only connection between the teenagers is that they are all students at Brook Hollow High School. This could be linked to the disturbing trend of other possible abductions and missing teenagers from our otherwise quiet town. If anyone has seen the teenagers or has any other information, please contact the police department. The mayor of Brook Hollow has put a curfew into effect for anyone under 18 starting tonight. Now to other news. In the business world, Ominous Practical Technologies signs a new deal with...
Ну що ти не суждаєшся шветом?
Да.
Ебать.
Whoa.
Що ти зайшов в раунд?
Oh, looks like you really stepped in it this time. Just where in the world are you? Hello? Hello? All right, Pete. Remember your scout training. Step 1, get your bearings. Consulting Detective Weevil, hot on the trail. He's got a nose for the truth. Whoa, why don't you just stay over there, small red insect?
Signal detected.
What's that? It sounds like a radio signal. It must be being transmitted from nearby. Curious. Ophidoidea. Well, logic dictates that there are probably more of these stations around. Maybe if I keep searching, I'll find some clues. Or someone.
Science! Science!
Look at the size of that thing. It's probably the size of a bathroom scale? Hey, a common example of the Formicidae family. Curiosity killed the tiny feet. It looks like this thing hooks up with those lasers. I don't think that worked properly. Seems like the machine needs all 3 lasers to function. Maybe there's a way to fix them?
I was a fool to have ever doubted myself. A fool like Klein, like Kaminsky, like Schmechter, like all of Ominent. I am here in the backyard. Down in the backyard. I mean, I am speaking to you from the backyard. I am tiny! I should gather my thoughts. This is a momentous occasion. Wendell Tully official log 89.08.05. Recording as I take my first steps into the miniature world. The sights are unbelievable. The textures, the way the light falls upon every surface, the subtle patterns in all of the objects that surround me. The grass! Even common lawn grass looks like a structure from an alien world. Wait. What's that sound? The very earth is trembling. Over there, what could it be? An ant! My God, today, the world has changed forever.
Давай посмотрим видео, вот это, короче, можешь на фон себе поставить.
It's never really been number one. Even BF1, which had insane success at launch,
barely got there.
Exactly. By the end of its life cycle, the game that everyone memed on the internet, Infinite Warfare from the opposing franchise, ended up outselling Battlefield 1. So
Truth nuke.
So like when you think about it, it still didn't penetrate beyond, like, Call of Duty gets the success it gets because it's penetrated the mainstream audience. It's penetrated the casual audience to such an extent that when little Timmy gets his new console, what are the names of games that people get?
When I was a kid, it was Halo and COD, dude.
Halo and COD, and now it's going to be COD and Fortnite. Or like if you're in Europe, it might be like FIFA, for example. Like it's like one of those mainstream names, and Battlefield, unfortunately, has never been able to get into that group. So when EA looks at it, like, it's still one of their biggest IPs. So if they're going to make a bet on something, it's probably going to be this.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, it's probably got to be this. I would look at some of other EA's other franchises. Like Apex Legends is like a sub-franchise of Titanfall. The previous Titanfall game didn't do very well, so they kind of don't really have the power there anymore. Battlefield has always had like the brand power, but it's never quite gotten to that top step. So
Don't
EA's
even need
looking
to
for a
boil it.
way to push it there.
And
of
I
course,
don't think
that's probably going to be the BR, right?
I spy.
Yeah. If it's anything, it'll be the BR. Because, in my opinion, the multiplayer, even if BF6 is absolutely incredible and it has major success, which
You
we
want
would
to
all
be
love to see.
scary?
Oh yeah.
Battlefield as a concept, like as
Это, короче, видео полгода
a
назад.
big combined arm shooter, is a more niche concept than Call of Duty. And it will, as a result, never be as popular, in my opinion. So, that's something I think people really gloss over. They think, oh, well, if we just had a good Battlefield game, it would immediately be as popular as Call of Duty. No, I mean, the concept is a lot more niche. It appeals to a particular type of person that there are simply less of in the world, in my opinion. It's just never going to be...
It's never going to be that way. And this probably leads into something that I think we wanted to talk about was like the classes system. And I think it's something that me and you are like, we're aligned on in probably like 70% of it.
Of course, yeah.
And so like, one of those things you've just mentioned, like there are less people that want to play a Battlefield game versus people that want to play Call of Duty. Let's look at what they're doing with classes. I think we can kind
Я
of see the
это
direction
не понимаю вообще.
that they're going for. here.
Почему так?
I think, having thought about this for a lot longer and having the opinions that I've had, I made video, you made the video, we've got our opinions on it. I just think in general, by doing what they're doing with classes, is they're just removing a barrier to entry to make it easier for people to enjoy the game. That's where I genuinely think if you boil it all down to it, that's what they're trying to do. When people step into a Battlefield game, you have to take on a role. And then you realize, oh, I can't use the gun that I want, so I'm just going to play the role with the gun. And then
exactly,
we have the problem we have. Call of Duty doesn't have that problem because they don't have that barrier. So I think what they've tried to do with classes is try to like open the door to make it more appealing to a wider audience, but also do their absolute best to make it so that it's still classes, guys. It is still classes. So that, I kind of think they're trying to strike this balance. And I don't know if it's going to make people happy, or I don't know if it's just going to annoy everybody. So we'll have to see.
So, I think argument I've seen is the core Battlefield community is sort of the vocal minority on the class system, but the larger audience may not care at all. So
I'd 100% agree with you.
And I think part of the open weapon system thing is
Choke it down.
exactly as you said. Each class performs a role, but I think they probably have data somewhere in there that says, well, the role is pretty much 85 or 90% completed with the gadgets available to the class. Like, the gadgets, in my opinion,
Those mites are no match for the might
defines
of
the
small
role of
Pete.
classes more than the weapons really ever have. And I just think having open weapons doesn't necessarily destroy like everything about Battlefield that people say. And people use 2042 as an example of why like open weapons can't work. And me personally, like I made a million videos on this. I don't personally care what they do because I've played so many different types of Battlefield games. I've just dealt with it. It's all fine. I see the argument for class lacking weapons, and I see the argument for open weapons. But I think people are being overly dismissive about an open weapon system. They like to bring up, oh, it'll destroy team play, and they talk about 2042 with specialists, and like, oh, this doesn't work because 2042 proves it doesn't work. But then you look at 2042, and it's like, okay, the specialists in particular heavily dictate what you actually play. And I mean, look at my playtime in this game. I've played McKay for literally 2,300 hours. Why? Because he's overpowered. Straight up. He's overpowered, and he just doesn't have any weaknesses ever. And that's not going to be in BF6.
Да он про кого?
Окей.
Specialists are not going to be in the game. So that right there just changes.
Там ебанутые классы, там Окей, Зейн.
When you're choosing what you want to play, the gadgets matter more than the specialist abilities now. Because there
Ну и
are
Фальки еще может быть.
to even consider. There's no Zane or Sundance or McKay. So
it's also like I feel like the specialist was like a branching, like or a segregating of the class system because you had to pick a role within a role. Like there were assault specialists, there were medic specialists. You know what I mean? And like each of them had their own, you know, maybe game changing isn't the right word, but they have their own, like, yeah, in some cases, yeah, absolutely. But like they had their own unique like ability or gadget that would define what they do. But I think a lot of people just didn't like that at all because there is this thing, and I'm kind of still, and maybe it's a bit of a nostalgic thing for me, but like Battlefield is just like nameless soldier simulator, and not like the whole point was that you were part of a wider team. There was no one particular person who was supposed to stand out and be like, oh yeah, like I want to play as that character because it does this. It's like, no, you play as medic because you heal people, or you pick support because you like dropping ammo.
And I totally agree with that. The specialist direction was always dumb in my opinion. No one, like even dude, I don't care about McKay and him saying, what does he say at the start screen? Something about like, the wait's over, or like all these voice lines, and they're trying to create lore, and I read the lore, and I don't understand. It's okay. Can we stop this?
I agree, and like the thing is for me, like I still find like BF3, the medic, like the guy that plays the medic, and like I can see that character standing on the character screen. I can see that medic, and I couldn't tell you what the default look for McKay is. Or, in fact, you know what? I don't even know about Sundance. That's the only other specialist I can actually think of the name right now.
Well, so probably because she has the wingsuit, and that's like one of the main things that was pushed in the game, like from the start.
So, but I can see the BF3 medic clear as day. I can see the BF4 medic with its backpack and the pair of scissors that are strapped to its backpack. And the goggles. And I can see the Chinese recon character from BF4 because I know exactly what it looks like. These are the memorable things that we like. And it's like, that's Nameless Soldier. Even though, you know, it's easy to spot what that is, it's still Nameless Soldier. And I just think that Specialist was the wrong direction.
Я до сих пор не понимаю, почему они не сделали улучшенную систему BF5 кастомизации. Для меня это вообще секрет.
Хотят продавать косметику, но не сделали такую систему.
Ну, так они же продают миллиард косметики, но не сделали систему, блядь, косметики нормальной. Они просто скопировали ебаный Call of Duty нахуя. Ради чего,
Ну,
блядь?
потому что Call of Duty продается.
И шо? Сейчас уже не продается.
Yeah, so I want to talk about class identifiability here for a bit, because people always bring up that fact when they talk about the open weapon versus locked weapon system. And I think they really gloss over how easy class identifiability is, like solvable via visual identifying factors, right? So if you pay attention to like me playing the game right now, imagine if they just had the class symbol over their head as their spot symbol, right? And imagine if specialists weren't in the game, and the classes are, again, very easily identifiable just by a glance, on top of other identifying factors. You don't necessarily need locked weapons to be like, that's a medic, right? And BF4 proves that, because BF4 obviously had a ton of universal weapon categories, and a recon player could have anything from an ACWR to a sniper rifle, and there's really no way to tell. So
I think like from my point of view, I mean I've been playing a fair bit of BF1. BF1's spot icon tells you the class, and that's super helpful. I mean BF1 is probably not, in terms of like actual 3D physical identity, like when you look at the character, is probably not a great example for supporting open weapons, because they did they had a really good job of the silhouettes in that game.
Yes.
Like, you knew a support player was a support because he was holding the LMG at his waist, like, and the stance of the character was so
the animations.
It was so uniquely identifiable. And so maybe there is an element that this next game needs to lean into that, because if they can create that with a universal open weapon system and have, I don't know, rather than the weapon itself being tied into that silhouette, but like the silhouette of each class is uniquely identifiable by the way it's standing, over time people are going to learn that very quickly.
Of course.
And that's one of those things that I think they can do. But I agree, like the more I thought about it, the open weapon system it's less concerning to me, and I think the reason I was concerned initially is purely because Battlefield has always done it. And so there's like a part of me that's like, well, why would you change that? Why would you go and do this? And then, like I said to you earlier, I think there's a lot more reasons other than than just wanting to make sure that people can play the way they want to. I think there's monetization reasons as well.
Of course, the skins.
Yeah, but
People always
do
bring
think
that up.
We mentioned earlier about, you know, EA wanting to get this game, have a wider appeal. Well, what's the easiest way to do that? Let's make sure that, you know, someone has a favorite weapon that they like and they don't want to play a class without that weapon. Okay, let's give them that weapon on that class, and let's hope they carry on playing the role. And maybe I'm very dismissive of like, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna get support players with ammo bags sitting behind a rock at the back of the map, and they're never gonna leave.
Which has always been a thing.
But maybe some people will do that. But you know, I think there are probably a lot of people that won't do that. You know, you're always going to get that guy that sits in the spawn with the artillery truck because that's what they do.
That's what they do.
And you're not going to be able to stop them from doing that. But maybe by having open weapons, it actually might make things even more adaptable. It might make people actually be like, okay, so they've opened up weapons. Let me try being a medic with a sniper rifle.
Yeah, and this is something I touched on. Oh, I want to touch on this so badly. Every single time I see someone talk about the open weapon system, they always bring up the fact a medic can use a sniper rifle and how this is some sort of insanely overpowered god setup that has absolutely no counter. And in reality, I have played against medic snipers in this game for literally 2,000 hours, and I have not once ever complained about it. And the argument is, I suppose, oh, I body shot them and they heal themselves and then they repeak and I don't know that they could heal themselves. Well, actually, you can look at their specialists and tell they're a medic, so you can actually predict that. And then on top of that, the ultimate counter to this is, I'm sorry, to shoot them in the head with a sniper rifle, which is also the counter to every sniper in the game anyway. So I just don't, I've never understood the massive hate for that, aside from, I don't know, just hating on it, just to do it.
I think, again, I'm just going to keep defaulting back to the fact that Battlefield hasn't done this before, so people immediately react that they don't like it.
Yep.
And what's really interesting to me is that we were talking about labs earlier. I've tried not to look at too much stuff, but it is just literally all over the
It's
timeline,
impossible.
so it's hard to ignore it. Like, the feedback from labs has been largely positive, and I haven't seen a huge amount of the feedback be, oh, I wish they locked weapons to classes. The feedback hasn't really been, from what I've seen, like...
And we don't know what the specific labs feedback is. Maybe the people in labs are saying, this is actually working fine. Like, I don't understand why people on the outside are begging for it to change. So they might just be actually listening to labs feedback, but from the outside, it appears like they're not listening to the community, you know?
Maybe. Because, like, the only feedback we're seeing is, like, replies to social posts and replies to Reddit posts and stuff. And
From the community managers, too.
Yeah, and like even then, I'm not like when I see people just discussing it, like, you know, there's always like someone takes a clip from like the latest test and some big like Twitter account posts it, and there's loads of people underneath going, oh, this, that, it looks amazing. There's not many people saying, wait, why is that medic running around with a sniper rifle?
Yeah,
they don't say that. They don't say it. And so maybe this all like, as Battlefield fans, we're a little bit like, oh, well, hang on, why are you doing this? You've never done this before. But like the general person, the person that EA is clearly trying to get at with this game. I mean, the 100 million thing that came out is just the most ultimate example of that. Like they clearly want to hit a casual audience, you know?
So I wanted to touch on, we'll touch on the 100 million players after this small thing I wanted to touch on. So
new one for the
whole thing about the Battlefield community not wanting it because basically Battlefield, you know, traditionally in a lot of people's minds doesn't have open weapons.
I'm just going to point out, like, I'm still like 30% one of those people. I like my classes, the very structured classes that we have.
I don't think I'm high enough level to take on such a foe.
I'm still going to play this game anyway, so like, it doesn't really matter what they do for me personally, because I'm going to play the game anyway.
I'm in the exact same boat as you.
There's a lot of people in the community that absolutely rightfully, you know, they're seeing this and they're thinking, what, they're going to take our classes away. I don't like this. So I get both sides. I totally get both
I was afraid of the community reaction because in my opinion, I made a couple videos with this. I was afraid of the community reaction being so against the open weapon system because in my opinion, I would just like to see them avoid all drama, and maybe that's just me being like paranoid. I'm like, oh god, oh fuck, oh no, please.
Not another situation.
Like, no, please, not another 2042. Like, just lock the weapons so they stop complaining, please. But maybe again, maybe the lab's feedback is positive for the open weapons, and they're listening to them.
This is the thing. Like, I mean, one thing I'm just gonna look at the blog post. I've actually got it up here because like I just wanted to make sure if we were gonna quote anything, we were gonna get it right.
Yes.
So the one thing again, if you zoom out, you don't make 2 blog posts about the class structure, like being like, this is what we're gonna do.
I said the same thing.
And like, you're not gonna make those 2 blog posts with those lovely graphics in there. Like,
those lovely, yeah.
If you're kind of open to changing your mind, I don't think they're gonna change their mind. I think they're on this road.
Listen, you don't tell these artists to make these wonderful pictures
That's a
for
soldier
us.
ant.
Absolutely not.
Tell the
Absolutely.
difference
You
here.
know you don't. Because like, I mean, if that's what they want to do, if that's a decision they've made, they may as well stick to it. I think what's kind of frustrating is like, again, people giving feedback and it feels like people are not being listened to, but again, we don't have access to the lab's feedback. We're just looking at community response on Twitter.
I should
Як
construct
ти
some
тут?
shelter and get some
Да,
Что, пошли, может, Дипрок?
не хочу.
В смысле? Как это?
Ну,
А
так.
что ты играешь, Дипрок? Ой, это Grounded. Что ты там делаешь?
Да хотелось самому поиграть.
Ёб твою мать. Да там же ты ничего не... Ты ж уже играл.
Yes, I can go inside this can.
Так ты много что прошел, я ничего не делал вообще. Я просто заходил,
Ничего и не было.
я заходил, ты такой, давай там пошли, надо сделать. Я ничего не понимаю, я иду за тобой просто.
Что, мы не будем Дипрок? Найс.
Подожди, прок так сильно?
Ну а что, блядь? Хотя, что за достижение? Почему иконки нет?
Люди пишут, что обновление какое-то. Там бету я поменял. Тимовскую и пропало.
Вот так, я. А где это?
В настройках интерфейса.
Убрать?
Поставить вместо беты там что-то.
Не участвовать.
Да.
Ну шо, так подожди, Дипрок, час остался. Как раз 2 миссии выполнил. Суперская.
Там, где надо искать 15 камней этих желтых.
Каких желтых?
Ну, желтых. У тебя?
Better than starving, I think.
Оно пропало, нет? О, появились. Подожди, у меня, получается, 3 достижения осталось. 500 миссий. Золотое повышение для всех дворфов и кубы. Ебать, кубы нашло 12%. Я, ебать, уже наиграл сколько часов, и я их не нашел. 5 штук не нашел. Это вообще как? Я в ахуе. Просто в ахуе. В Дипроке 1 числа было 37 тысяч игроков. Ну как Battlefield, блядь.
Сколько?
Это вообще пиздец. 37 тысяч. 38. Ебать, фри викенд?
Battlefield?
Был фри викенд, охуеть.
В Battlefield?
Нет, в Дипроке. Сейчас у меня есть. Уже закончился. Закончился. Ну что, заходи.
Куда?
Science.
Стоп, что? Ну.
I have isolated
Uh-huh.
the source of the particle irregularities. They appear to be a byproduct of the shrinking process. If I adjust the machine to account for their existence, it should be the key to the de-shrinking, expanding process. Burgle, please bring up the readings for the irregular covalent SNPI 4
Чего?
particle traces. Ugh,
А где мои моды?
to get tiresome. And while you're at it, rename all references to the irregular covalent SMPI 42Z particle to raw science.
Order received. Raw science identified. Does it require cooking, flipping, or grilling?
No, none of those. Categorization.
That answer is not permitted, according to health code standards governing the handling of raw food items.
Come on, come on!
System reboot in progress. Thanks for the helping hand. I am Burgle, acting science manager for this project. I am also a robot. I am sure this all must be very disorienting for you, but
Ничего не понял.
I can explain. I suspect you were miniaturized by Dr. Tully's spacer device. Why are you here in the yard? I do not
Почему
know. In fact, I cannot
моды
seem to
не
recall much
включаются?
of anything.
Блин.
A recent power surge
Мне так
has
и не
caused a
нравится.
massive raw science containment explosion. This lab, as you can see, is a disaster. And what's worse, the explosion has disrupted my
Бей меня
computing
нежно.
power. My memory banks are corrupted.
Фу.
Sorry to pile on the bad news, my new friend. How can I be of service? You are here, in the Oak Lab, built and used by Dr. Wendell Tully to experiment on all things small. This is the base of operations for conducting experiments in his yard. Dr. Tully is a brilliant scientist and inventor. He is also my creator. My initial protocol was to serve as the short order cook of the future. However, I have been recently promoted to acting science manager to assist with his experiments. No doubt my previous work experience has been invaluable to Dr. Tully. Although, now that I am processing it, I have not seen him for several weeks. And now I cannot recall where he went. It must be my corrupted memory banks. It seems you and I are both a little discombobulated. Given my best calculations, your biomass has been subject to covalent spacing reduction via interatomic energy extraction. In other words, you have been shrunk. It is likely this was achieved using Dr. Wendell Tully's spacer platform, patent pending. Shrinking can be a traumatic experience for tiny human brains, and memory loss is a known side effect. Hopefully your memory will return in time. To return to your prior size, you would need to successfully activate Dr. Tully's spacer platform. Unfortunately, my readings indicate it is inoperable. It appears to have suffered several malfunctions from the explosion. I am sorry, but it appears you may be stranded here for some time until we find a solution. Haha! That is a great idea! Let me run a full diagnostic scan on it and see what we need to do to get it fixed up. Processing! Processing! Memory fault. Code 408B3000. Ominent OS script runtime error. Arg! I am sorry again. It appears I have sustained more damage to my memory chips than expected. Without those memories, I do not know how to repair the spacer. Dr. Tully used 2 types of chips to back up my memory. Auxiliary chips are small capacity chips used to store project data. If you find these, I should be able to help you learn new survival recipes. Super chips are special, and they are
Ты тут, дядь?
Да.
back up full
Так
duration
заходи.
of my memory system. If we are
Да
going to
пиздец.
fix the spacer, that data is bound to be on a super chip. I suggest exploring the other labs in the backyard. Return with any memory chips you find. Dr. Tully has built many more labs throughout the yard. Each lab is used for various experimental procedures. I can upload their locations to your Scabby. Stand by. Processing. Processing. Error. Files not found. Code 632C404. Cheese and fries. The lab locations are missing from my memory banks too. But we are in luck. I was able to retrieve the location of one of the facilities, the Hedge Lab. The Hedge Lab is the observation center of the yard and used for research on arachnid webbing. You will find the hedge near the house if you head southeast. The lab is located deep inside the hedge, sending the coordinates to your Scabby. Try to find the Hedge Lab first, but there is nothing stopping you from searching the yard for the other labs. Except, of course, thousands of angry, hungry insects. That reminds me. Dr. Tully locks the important labs with biometric scanners. You will need access for any chance of success.
Ты заходишь?
To the ASL terminal and place your hand on the biometric scanner near it. Give it a moment to sync your signature into the mainframe. Once you are registered, you will be granted access to the ASL network of computers too. ASL grants access to daily work items, nay, tasks, nay, quests. Yes, quests. I will reward you raw science for each completed quest. In my science shop, you can trade raw science back for survival recipes from experiments that Wendell conducted when he was first exploring the yard. Log on to the ASL terminal over there and see what is available. Unless you have any other questions, you really should get started finding those shivs. And try not to die out there. Have an exponentially great day! It is nice to see a friend. Ask away, my friend. How can I help you today? Fare thee well!
A scientific breakthrough.
Когда выключат?
Через час.
Ням-ням-ням.
Digging's my middle name. Good morning, sunshine. Rock and stone to the
Блять, это что, прикол? Я ж поставил минус. Почему галочка убралась? Я не верю. Это супер пенис. Ну, сейчас убралась галочка. А где она была?
Пьяница.
Ну, зайди.
Не могу.
Just call me the drill dozer.
О. Когда ты заходишь. Ты поставил этот?
У тебя написано Seat Available.
Кто?
Сверху, слева сверху.
Где?
Слева сверху.
Hurry up! I ain't getting younger, you know. Sequence initiating. Fasten your seatbelts.
Пристегните ремни, ребятки. Блин, часик остался, сука.
Kill anything with more legs than two.
Пойду спать тогда.
Time to collect your paycheck.
Ого. Нихуя тут open space. Ебать, это что? Ёб твою мать. Ебать, я ему настолько мало снес.
Как мне его убивать вообще?
Подожди, а он что, не один? Дядя?
Дядя его морожу.
Дядя, прыгай вниз. На меня. Подожди, это шо?
Я заморозил его!
Ебашу. Дядь, а это шо, куб? Или нет?
Где?
Вот перед нами прям.
Нет.
Блять, если прям передо мной прошел.
А, вот это да.
Ебать! Дядь, главное не въебать сейчас.
Блядь. Иди уходи.
Вот это заморозь.
Molly's on the space ring.
Блять, надо очень срочно нитру. Так, а ну, руби. Ебать, клубейка, ну дай мне лучше.
Мне тоже его надо.
Охуеть. Куда нам надо? Где эта станция? Ого. Покинул. Что? Все, положить куб. Слава богу, блять.
У меня ачивка.
Пиздец! О боже мой, блядь. Нам надо нитро, блять. Дядя, помоги мне! Дядя!
Где нитро вообще? Я ни одной не видел. Идеаль тролль. Ладно, похуй.
Не, нету чё. Как мне подниматься здесь?
Что, нет платформенной пушки?
Ну, это пиздец долго.
Тут внизу нет ничего.
Дядь, побыри куда-то. Это пиздец. Нет. Бля, ебать гамняная мапа. Ебать, чё это? А как выжить, блядь?
Хоть вы уже ебетесь, сука, уёбки. Ёбаный в рот. Помогите высшие силы.
Мать, у меня сам нет патронов.
Есть 20 нитро.
Я собираю тут жуков. 15-17.
Да ебать, да почему у вас так много уёбков? Это пиздец.
23 нитры. Еще пособираю тут. 30. 40.
Все, иди выгружай.
Бизю. Успеть бы.
Заебись.
Дядя, я вызываю.
Давай.
Дядя, иди подбирай припасы. Ну ебать, крипер какой, ну это пиздец!
Блядь.
Крипер. Мои уебище сверху стреляет. Как туда вообще залезть-то тут вверх?
Скрипер.
Бомба. У меня турели видят нахуй с ВХ. Здорово, флеш. Это что? Как она меня скинула, бля, эта хуйня? Как он, блядь, выстрелил задом в меня? Не повезло.
It's past your expiration date. A dwarf never dies.
Watch where you're shooting, moron!
Чё я не могу? А, блядь, я дебил.
Ушел нахуй.
This goes here! Pipe laced!
Humpjack requested and is inbound.
Here comes the pest control. Pipe framework set. Pipe goes here.
Как взять еще одно хп?
Explosive fires back the hell.
Request accepted. Stand clear. Humpjack inbound.
Понял.
Praetorian down.
Подними.
Часто можешь, блядь, воняло.
I owe you one, brother. Back's full. Can't carry anymore. Ugh, never felt better. Sorry, little bug. Your own fault for being
Launching now.
Дело сделано.
The gears are turning.
A secondary objective has been achieved. Bonus will be transferred to your accounts on mission completion.
Maybe I can.
Pipeline successfully connected to Pump Jack.
Понимаешь. Конечно, бомбически надо будет трубы пролаживать.
Есть платформы.
Что? Как вы, блядь, не умерли? Ебаные мухи.
Bloody McTerrors are onto you, team. Best dig in and get
I can't carry anymore. I'm totally loaded.
See cover? The McTerrors are here.
No got room for more. The time is up, Greg. Can't carry anymore.
Блять, что за хоррор? Это пиздец. Иди! Мне надо твоя энергетика.
Закончили патроны.
Тут патроны на базе. Ну, короче, идите нахуй. У меня 0. Или бомба. Что делать? Дядя Мороз, Мороз. Блять. Дядя Морозик такой. Блин, столько хп, блядь. Кстати, они еще, сука, летают в текстуре, нахуй.
Getting more ammo. I actually think we're gonna make it.
Без 5-10.
Hang in there.
Без.
Supplies are on the way.
Ты кто? Этих двое, блядь, было.
I can't carry anymore. My bag is My bag is That guy in mission control, he really has a cozy job. Inventory is full. Watch me go! Like that. Don't got room for more. Woo! Try to keep up. That's it. Bag's full.
Так, ну, я вроде тут пролутал наверху все. Давай проводить.
Down it goes.
Бля, эти мухи это просто ужас.
I think we actually have a chance to make it out alive.
Supplies are on the way.
Блять, это что, большой?
Swarm incoming. Get through it fast. We're on a tight schedule here.
This should work.
Swarm! It's a big one, team.
Первый.
You're almost through the wave, team. Go, go!
Weapons ready. Lover at work. Then we'll take it. That will teach you.
Да, блядь, ну ёб твою мать, ебаные мухи, блядь, цокотухи, сука.
I just love buildings. Put her down! Hello! Why does it feel like I'm the only one building the pipelines? I guess Mission Control wouldn't know a monkey wrench from a glyph. It's just a breeze.
Мгм. Давай, давай. Бать, как я ее построил вообще.
My place could use a hand building it. Die! Scared of you! If only Deep Rock Galactic could develop a way to automate this process.
Another pipeline established. You just need to set up one more, and then we can start the extraction sequence. All lights read green. Pipelines and pump jacks are all in place, and the liquid morkite is waiting. Return to the refinery and start up the pump sequence.
Дядя, а у нас же вот это надо пройти.
Похуй, у нас патронов хватит.
Да? Алло?
Ugh. Worse than my mom's Brussels sprouts.
I could really use some good grilling right about now. Now where did I leave that?
Science!
By the power of Helion, champion of the sun! A little chewy, but not bad. Aphids, nature's lollipops. filtration tablets needed.
Science!
Might up ahead. The goblin of the backyard. You know what they say? A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little mites. Taking a look. Mark that one off the list. Don't even need to boil it. That's no grub. It's a larva. allergies. Better than starving, I think. Nice and clean. I wonder if I could keep that aphid as a pet. Brave adventurer strode forth, approaching the mouth of the foreboding cave. What horrors waited within? don't even need to boil it. Not bad. Filtration tablets needed. for sniffing. I feel a little less squishy now.